What's going on, everybody, and welcome back. So this is part 2 of our part 3 series talking about NFL Superstar Mode. And in part 1, we talked about the process and how this should be more of a journey to becoming an NFL player, NFL star, than just simply creating your guy, selecting your team, and then boom, you're on your way. So that's what we talked about in part 1. We're going to kind of elaborate on that here in part 2. We're also going to talk about a unique goal set for your unique player and for your unique situation. And we're going to talk about player roles. So first, we're going to elaborate more on the process and how I think it will be a fun way for you to try to become an NFL starter. A lot of times you will get drafted by a team that already has an established first string receiver, first string running back, first string quarterback, so on and so forth. So I think they could easily have a unique way where you can become a starter. And it might not be by the team that you get drafted by, and that's going to go into the unique situation and unique circumstances of your player and where he got drafted. So in this video, I just happened to get drafted by the San Diego Chargers. I am not the starter. I just forced myself to be the starter by going to depth chart and then moving my way up. And I think that is okay for people that want to do that. But for people that want the struggle, that people want a process, a more simulation way to become a starting quarterback or running back or whatever it is, I think that should be an option. And the way that you do that is by giving us unique goals that are set for our situation and circumstance. For this, I don't think I would ever become the starting quarterback for the San Diego Chargers unless Phillip Rivers decides to retire. It's like the Mason Rudolph thing and Big Ben thing going on in Pittsburgh, right? Mason Rudolph, he came out and said that, hey, I'm probably going to just sit on the bench for a while and I'm going to try my best to learn from Big Ben and so on and so forth, and that's okay. But what if Mason Rudolph balls in the preseason? Like, what if every preseason game his rookie year, he's on fire? I don't think he's going to become the starter, but I think other teams around the league that are looking for a quarterback still, they might take note and be like, wow, maybe we should try to trade for Mason Rudolph. And it might not be in year 1. But you take what he did in year 1 in the preseason, he was balling out, and he does the same thing in year 2. Okay, now there's more of a buzz. Ben Roethlisberger looks good in the regular season, so most likely he's not going to be the starter there. I think if they had a scenario like that in Madden, where you're never going to be the starter for the team that picked you. Maybe you got picked by, I don't know, let's just say the Green Bay Packers as quarterback. You might not ever be the starter there unless Rodgers goes down with the injury, but that would just be too vanilla. Quarterback gets hurt, now all of a sudden it's your chance. So maybe they should have a meter or something just to judge your progress, right? So again, Mason Rudolph, he balls out, there's a little meter that goes underneath him or whatever saying that more teams are interested in trading for you. So you just kind of buy your time. Or you're in a situation like Sam Darnold in New York, where basically Josh McCown is a placeholder, but they probably want you to earn the job. So you're still going to have to ball out and outdo Josh McCown. However, that scenario is going to be a little bit different, where maybe the Jets are struggling. They put you in during some garbage time, and if you complete 10 out of 15 passes, all of a sudden that gets you closer to becoming a starter. Let's say Josh goes down. Now the goal is if you score 2 touchdown passes with no interceptions, then maybe you get closer to becoming a starter. But if you do throw a pick, it's going to knock you back down. And that's what kind of happens in the older superstar modes, where if you play poorly, your meter, your grade, whatever, goes down. And I don't think it necessarily has to be your overall has to be better than the person in front of you for you to outdo them. Many times in NBA 2K, just to use it as an example, you could become the starter without having your overall necessarily being better than the person in front of you. You could just outplay them. You could just play tremendously to the point where the coach is like, okay, you've earned it, we're just going to give you the starter. Because a lot of times you will be a high overall with people buying VC, and you would still be on the bench. So I don't think it should be just based on overall. It should be based on how you play in the scenarios that fit your circumstance and your player, and so on and so forth. And then you have player roles, and player roles are much like badges in NBA 2K, where you can work on this thing, and then all of a sudden you get a badge that will help you perform that thing even better. And in player roles, back on Madden 07, 08 for the PS2 for Superstar Mode, it would actually help your offensive lineman block better. If you get like field general, it would help the awareness of your players and so on and so forth. And it will be set to what you could increase. Right now as a rookie, I have the rookie badge or rookie role, and it only allows me to affect my stamina or toughness. And it really didn't take that long to get these roles. If you have enough quarterback comebacks, or fourth quarter comebacks, I should say, then you're going to get like the captain comeback role. And in those situations, it will help you increase the receiver's ability, help decrease the DB's ability, and so on and so forth. And that would just be something that you can work towards in game throughout the whole season, because you're like, I want to have this badge, I want to have this role, and it's something that they had in Madden, for whatever reason they took out. And then the last thing I want to talk about is then all the other sports games out there, FIFA, NHL, MLB The Show, NBA 2K, and even NBA Live, you are held to a certain standard when it comes to your play. NBA 2K has your teammate grade, and your teammate grade can go down for various reasons, and it can go up for various reasons. Some people agree with those reasons, some people don't, but that's not the point. The point is that you have something that's going to hold you accountable, because not too many people want to F or a D, even when they're playing just a regular My Career game and they're not really playing with your friends and stuff like that. But when you are playing with your friends, they're like, dang, how you get a D? Like, you about to get kicked from this game, and so on and so forth. It would be awesome if there was something like that while you're playing Madden Superstar Mode or Connect the Franchise, whatever you want to call it. Because when you're a receiver, a lot of times the ball is going to come your way unless you're the number one guy. So a lot of times you need to run your route the way that it is designed, right? In Madden, we know that a lot of the route combinations suck and they don't work. And you really need to be wide open for the computer quarterback to throw you the ball if you're playing receiver, right? So sometimes we just freestyle it, and that's okay. But there should be a level of, I guess, accountability when you're a receiver or any other position, that if you do something wrong, if you affect your team in a negative way, then you get a negative report, a negative grade, negative something. You get bumped down the depth chart, you get less playing time because of this and because of that. Like, to me, that would be awesome to have. You should be able to lose your starting job if you're not an established player at that position. You know what I mean? And if you are established, you should have a couple of bad seasons and then you get shipped off. Not saying Dez Bryant had a couple of bad seasons. Maybe what he said is true about not being a Jason Garrett guy, and that's 100% fair. But let's just say that it was because his play started to go down just a little bit, and that's why they decided to move on from him. That should be the same thing that you can go through in your superstar mode. So I think that if they add all those things, it would just increase the playability of this game mode. Because to me, I don't touch it. I am not the biggest baseball fan, and I haven't gotten MLB The Show in a while. I still play 16. I believe 16 is the last one that I got, and I still play 16 from time to time. Just because I want to try to get to the All-Star game. I want to try to help my team win the World Series. You know what I mean? I want to try to get a fat contract. There's just so many different things that I want to do in that game. I want to hit for the cycle. I don't know. Just the way that that game is presented, it just makes you want to do the best that you can. Because, again, you can have that adjusted overall, and it sucks when your overall starts to go down, and so on and so forth. So I'm not going to say that NBA 2K is perfect, because it's not, but my career for the most part has been pretty consistent. It's just the other things that go around with my career, like Pro-Am and not being able to play with your friends, that I think has really hurt that game. But Madden, if they could just add these things, which I don't think is that hard to do, this game mode will be a lot more playable and enjoyable. But that's going to do it. In part 3, we're going to talk about the reason why we can't freaking play with fullbacks and left tackles and be a punter or a kicker and all those other things that would just be fun. That one's just going to be basically about customization, so I hope that you guys are there for that. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave me down some feedback down in the comment section below, what you agree with, what you didn't agree with. And yeah, that's it, man. I hope that the rest of your day is the best of your day, and I'm out. Peace. Love. Hot sauce.
Check it, every day we're getting it. Hey, check it, put the place up. Yeah, we know what we made of. Can't get enough of you, boo. I'm a chaser, face up.